In the last few episodes, we've talked about change in its different forms, change that happens within our lives, kids moving away or whatever. But I think change is such an interesting topic because we all change and we all change at different rates in our relationships. We all grow, we all become different. But usually, when somebody is going for a really big goal, they change because they have to in order to get to where it is that they want to go to. And it appears sometimes that as we are changing, other people are staying the same. They're not changing. They're not growing with us. They don't understand some of our decisions. They don't like our decisions, whatever that might look like. And it's really interesting because it can also be the same for us, whereby we see somebody changing and it makes us feel uncomfortable. And I think it's a really important topic to talk about because this is how some friendships end because people have changed, they've evolved, and the other person doesn't like what they now see in that individual. So the friendship comes to an end. Marriages can come to an end as a result of that. Like, it is such an important thing to recognize that we are all going to change. And we can't change somebody else. That has to be up to them. We like to think that we can. We like to think, okay, well, you know what? I'll just change this one thing about that person. It'll make it all okay. Certainly, I know when I was really young, I used to think that I went out with this one guy briefly, and I used to think, well, if he was just this way, this would be a great relationship. But that's not who he was. It's like, that's not who he was. So what are you doing? Like, what are you trying to change? Right.
Well, I
And
believe you're not with them anymore, right?
oh, no. It was a very brief relationship.
Like the way
Very
she said,
brief.
very brief.
Yeah, very brave. It was like, okay, I get it. This is who you are. I'm out.
Yeah.
But see, that's what's really important to recognize, because I think sometimes we try to change the other person. It's also, I think, really interesting to know why people don't like you to change, don't like your decisions when you're going to on a big goal, and you start making decisions in order to get to that goal, and people don't like the decisions that you're making. Like, I think, Michelle, you mentioned that you quit drinking, and it, like, all of a sudden people are like, well, you're a drag, like, I don't want to be around you, I want to go to happy hour, and, like, you're not invited anymore. It's like, people don't like change. They, like, as humans, we don't like it because it creates uncertainty, and it also makes us feel unsafe when things start to change, even though we want things to change in our own personal lives and on that mindset and development and all the things that we're all going through. But it's so interesting to watch it unfold with other people.
I think there is, when we watch it unfold with other people, I think there's different types of people. I think there are people that can try to sabotage your change, put you down for your change, those types. And I think when in experience, it's more that they like you the way you were, and you're making them uncomfortable by changing because they don't to change. And I quickly came to realize, the heck with that, with them. That's their problem, not my problem. I'm not going to adjust my change because of their uncomfortableness. But I've also learned, so I don't drink, okay? Well, I shouldn't say that. I have had alcohol in the past couple months, and I have decided I don't like it. I probably will not have much more anymore. But anyways, I don't really drink. I don't go to but I love going to happy hours. Happy hours has some of the best appetizers. Are you freaking kidding me? I can have a mocktail. I also have decided, because I changed and decided not to drink, I am not going to look down on somebody who has decided to drink. I think that's another thing that happens with change. We, as the person changing, we can't force that because I've decided to do it. You have to do it.
Mhm.
And if you decide not to do it, that does not make you a bad person. I'm not talking about somebody who has a severe drinking problem. This is just somebody that you're casually usually going out to drinks with. And there are a handful of friends, once they got used to that, yes, I'm going to, yeah, she's fine when we go out. We still have a good time with her. The invitations came and I go to happy hours and I go to dinners and I try some of the best mocktails out there. You know, I think it's how you present yourself with the change also. You know,
But the key thing is that person, the people that are around you that are witnessing that, the reason that we feel uncomfortable is because we see things in ourselves that we either don't like, we want to change, we don't know how to change, we're feeling stuck or whatever. It creates that inward reflection and it creates an uncomfortableness, and we don't want that. So it's easier just not to be around the person who's changing.
right.
Right? It's easier to say, you know what, okay, well, you're getting too weird for me. You're you're out kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you, Tracy G? Have you ever experienced that with anybody?
Well, I'm just thinking about the change when you're changing is, I feel that it's hard because exactly that judging, there's a lot of judging going on. I think women are kind of like, it's, we all talk about this empowerment and support while you're kind of backstabbing. But anyways, that's just my side note on that. But the biggest thing I know for me when I am trying to do changes is the judgment. And I think that anyone judging me, again, reflect what information am I getting from that? And I think it's a very big insecurity on their part that they either may lose you as a friend because you're a reflection of what they're not doing, right? Like maybe someone doesn't want to drink or whatever, and you're doing it, and it's like, oh, I wish I could do that, or say you were a smoker or whatever. And or starting something new, or doing an ultra race, or starting a business. And I just think that I think people, it really is a mirror into what they're not achieving or wanting to achieve, or even starting, not even achieving, even taking that first step.
Yeah.
Goes
Yeah.
back to that comfort thing.
Yeah, it's excellent. And I have had a girlfriend say to me one day, I think I'm going to give up drinking for 30 days. I'm like, okay. And we went out and I never really asked her about it. You know, I didn't harp on her. I never said anything. And she did do it. She did it for 30 days, you know, and she felt better. And she decided to go back, and she's not a big drinker, and it doesn't matter to me. And do I think she failed at all? No, I don't think anything. I don't think I let go of the expectation. I'm changing. I need someone to be changing with me. I let go of that expectation because I found I was using other people as a crutch.
Mm.
You know, you want that support. You want someone else to be uncomfortable with you.
Yes.
And I live in a household, and if he hears me, he'll laugh. Every day, I'm either at the gym or I'm out running. I'm training again. This man has no exercise in his life, period. None. I'm very cautious on what I eat. I eat an 80-20 rule. He could care less what he eats. You know, we're very opposite in those aspects of things. But we also, I have communication, and we also have a respect for each other, that he doesn't force his way on me. I don't force my way on him. And we have this understanding. And sometimes that is the best thing for your change. You know, that you have support.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I would never expect someone to change with me. but I don't want you to judge my change to the point that it's gonna, I'm gonna make some choices of not to change. And so I think that's really healthy. It's like you do you, I'll do me, and we also have our togetherness of how our relationship
Right.
works. But I wouldn't expect someone to change with me.
No, we
But,
went out, you're right,
stop
we
judging
went
me.
out with friends on, well, what day is it? Monday, just a couple days ago. And we were all sitting around the bar and he said, do you want anything? And I said, yep, I want a Heineken Zero. And everyone looked at me. I said, I don't drink. And they went, oh, we always thought you did, because I never make a deal of it. I usually drink in seltzer, or it looks like I'm drinking, but I don't like announce it. I just go through what I do. And we just went on and had an amazing night.
Mhm.
There was no, so I think you have to understand how you want to change, what your change is, how important is your change, and you need to understand that the people around you might be more supportive or they might be less supportive, but your change has to be so important that that doesn't matter.
Yeah, because ultimately the decisions you make about your change are yours. But
Right.
it's also, I mean, if there is going to be some significant change that you make in your lifestyle or in your daily routine or whatever, and it is going to impact whoever it is that you're with, then I believe that dialogue is
Oh yeah.
definitely required so that they can at least understand what is going to be happening. And
Oh,
like you said, they can either choose to support you or not, as the case may
Right,
be.
because sometimes change is out of the judgment is out of a love, right? Care, like
Mhm.
they're caring and they're like, what are you doing with your life? Why are you making this big change? I'm not talking about alcohol, but whatever it
no.
is.
Yeah, yeah.
My not he wasn't at the time. My husband and I, we moved to the Caribbean. And at the time, people were freaking out on us and they're like, don't do it, because they saw this change. We're like, what the hell are you talking about? We're doing this. But it was out of care. A lot of my family was like, don't do this, Tracy. What are you doing? But it was from care. So you
Right.
just have to, still have that strength to go, I want to make this change.
Care or
Right.
fear, right? I mean, it is
Sorry, I
that
missed that.
I said it can be care and or
Oh,
fear, right? It's like
right.
the
Yeah.
fear that you might be making a mistake, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, if you make this mistake, how are you going to recover from it, or whatever, right? I mean, it's still caring, but a lot of times, sometimes our judgment is fear-based, from that perspective. And good on you. Wow, I didn't know you lived in the Caribbean. How long did you live down there for?
Couple of years.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah. It was
Amazing.
amazing. It was
I
amazing.
bet.
That's another one, because I learned about just appreciating that you woke up today and the sun is out. And that was the vibe for 2 years. It was amazing.
Wow, very
Yeah.
cool.
But
Where
there was definitely a fear of change from people around us.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I think I did write something, but change is hard. You're all excited and ready to go. You're crushing it and making those changes. Then it happens. Those close to you start to change or not to change. Change in a way that can be hurtful, sabotaging, unsupportive, fearful, or caring. That's okay. Don't stop. Remember, you changed. You changed for yourself, for no one else. You changed for your happiness, not theirs. You changed for your salvation, not theirs. Keep moving forward. You never know who you are inspiring, who you can be motivating to change. And I think that's very important about change. I think we take what we do so nonchalantly that you never know who's watching you change from the smallest person in your family to the oldest person, from your closest friend to the distant friend. You never know. And you might be the key that that person needs to make a change.
I agree.
You know? Yeah. Because you never know, Tracy G. Someone could be like, we didn't know you lived in the Caribbean. Like, and somebody could be like, wow, I've always wanted to do that. How did you do that? You know, you can be.
No Instagram to check it out first.
Yeah. Right. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you can, like, somebody could be like, wow, that there are people that do that, you know, like there is that. And that's a good thing. I'm going to go off. I was going to end it, but I have to go off on a second. Change is hard, and you have to stick with your change and not, I think the last thing about change, even though somebody else isn't supporting you, or they might think they're supporting you by giving you advice about your change, thinking you should be further along, or you should be more perfect in this area, or you're not working out right, or your eating is wrong. I caution that, because we do a lot of comparison when we're in change to the perfect people on social media, because nobody's perfect. Sorry, I'm going to say that till the day in my last breath. There is not one perfect person in this world. And what people portray sometimes is that perfection. And we get nervous with our change because we're trying to take advice from other people about change, when we can listen to what they have to say, but you don't have to always do what they say. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I just want to add one thing. And the one person who stood there and said, go, was my mother, who is a woman of wisdom, or was a woman of wisdom because she's moved on. But she saw, because of her wisdom of life experience, and said, go, 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 go. And that is, what we're trying to do is tell you what we've learned from all of our experiences. But she was the one, absolutely, that was not scared for me at all.
And I have the same thing when
I don't think we're ending this episode.
I think we when I got the job offer to move to Wisconsin, everybody in my family were like, well, why would you do that? Like, why? And my father, not my stepfather in Florida, my father, he's like, oh, this is cool. I could come visit you. Bye. Have a good have a good time. Like, he was just like your mom, Tracy, like, go. So, okay. Well,
And I just want to add one thing. I was exactly the same when my daughter moved to Whistler, BC, which, I'm in Canada, I'm in Ontario, like that's, a 5-hour flight. I was like, you go, because this will be the best thing that's going to happen to you in your life. And also, when she moved to England, I was like, you go, because there is nothing better than traveling to see the world, to be a part of something different. It is the best experience. It'll be the best teacher of life you'll ever get. Now I'm finished.
No, okay. But wait a minute, there's one more. Okay, so viewer, the change is hard. Have you been somebody who, have you lost because of a change? And sometimes that's a grieving period also. We talked about grief in a previous episode, so that can be a grieving process. But comment below, let us know. Maybe we can help you through that. If you have questions about change, make sure you comment below on them. Make sure you share this with somebody who is struggling with change right now. Also, like, subscribe, and make sure you hit notifications so every Wednesday you're notified when our new episode is up. Until then, have a great day.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you as a regular member of our community.